All right, get ready to rock and roll. Back with Shirley.
And Rachel.
In Podcasa Bonita. Rock and roll, just like Matt and Trey did up in that 25th anniversary concert.
Yes, with Primus and Ween and Rush.
And Rush. A little bit of Rush there, too. Now, unfortunately, we were not one of the select people that got to actually go to the physical concert, but I'm going to tell you, South Park's pretty bomb for not only releasing it on TV on Comedy Central, but they also released the full thing for free on their YouTube page. Well, I say the full thing. There are some clips that are edited out, but...
I mean, it's generally the thing. It's like an hour and a half long.
And it's beautifully recorded. It's wonderful. The sound quality is great. It's that was really awesome. I seeing this, it really made me realize how much they actually care about their fans.
I know.
They really do. I felt very special.
And it was sweet, too, especially seeing how much the fans care about them, too. Because so many people, like, they would do shots for the crowd, and people are, like, in South Park hats and shirts and singing along. And
cosplay and everything.
It's so awesome.
Well, we were sitting in my bed, like, not watching it and singing along to everything, pointing out cosplay and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
And I'm wearing my South Park shirt as we speak and as we were watching it.
I'm wearing a Bob's Burgers shirt. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm cheating.
And it just proves to show you how big South Park fans we are. That whenever like they would take a break and do like a Primus song, we would like immediately go on our phone. I'm like, I have no interest in this. Sorry, but
just kidding. I love Primus.
They did a good job at the concert. They were fun.
Yeah,
but.
Ween's alright. Ween's a good band, just not my personal thing. But Rush, I do like me some Rush. So.
That was fun. Do you want to talk about how Trey surprised Matt?
Oh gosh, well, this is just truly. In that moment, that was kind of like wow, that's like our friendship right here.
I was like, they're married. Look at
they're
them.
married. So, for those who didn't see, honestly, and I'd encourage you to find a clip uploaded by somebody who was actually there, because that's how I saw it. I had seen clips of the that viewers who had recorded it from their personal devices and uploaded to YouTube. I've seen those clips. I didn't watch any of the official reel until Rachel got here. It's because I'm nice. Also, because I'm lazy. But there was a segment where Trey and the rest of the crew surprised Matt. Matt had supposedly no idea, which I don't think he could fake his enthusiasm there. It was Matt. We see in like interviews is usually kind of pretty stoic. He's not as extremely expressive and quote unquote vulnerable, I'd say. But Trey surprised him with Rush, the two singers from Rush. You had Getty and
the other one.
Yeah, the other one, the blonde one. Or well, he's not really blonde anymore. But you had two. You had the vocalist and a guitarist from Rush, and that was pretty amazing. They showed up on stage, and Matt got to play with them, and Primus and Ween. They all performed "Closer to the Heart," which is just an awesome song, even if you aren't a Rush fan.
Yeah, like, it was funny because sometimes during the song they would change it to "Closer to South Park."
Closer to South Park, yeah. And the reason why I encourage you to find the individual upload of it is because they did cut this part out, and I'm not sure if it was for time or whatever on the official reel, but they had Matt actually perform a drum solo, which, I mean, if you just see his face, it's like a kid on Christmas. It was so wholesome. These 50-year-old men, 50 plus, not calling them out or anything, but
yeah, they look great.
They look awesome. You can really tell that they put so much work into this performance. It really was a love letter to fans, and it's not even just South Park fans. They had a lot of other nods to a lot of their other works. We even got some Cannibal.
Yeah, and we
stuff.
did America Fuck Yeah at the end.
Of course. The only thing that was missing, I really wish they had done maybe like a Book of Mormon number.
That'd be kind of tough though.
That would be tough because I mean Book of Mormon's its own It's its own thing.
And I don't know, I mean, maybe this is mean to say, but, like, I mean, isn't Broadway music, like, kind of on a different level? Like, Matt and Trey were good singers, but I'm like, I don't know if they could perform some of those songs.
Oh, well, I mean, I think they did a great job with their demos. You can pull up the Book of Mormon demos.
Oh, okay. I take it back
I
think
then. Man Up would have been a great song to have that. I'm a huge musicals fan.
Mm-hmm. Like, that would be tough, though, because Man Up is kind of like the La Resistance, like when everyone's singing all at once.
That's very true.
So that, because I wanted them to perform La Resistance, but I'm like, that would be hard. That's hard to perform.
It would be hard with like out paying too much staff.
Yeah.
For one song. Let me tell you, what they had was great. I mean, they didn't pull any stops with this production. I felt like it was a true love letter, and it wasn't like an ego show or anything. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I don't really see them being that way much either. But they let so many other people perform, and they had a really good balance of characters there.
I have to say, I love that they had, like, a line of, like, I think 5 or 6 women who were singing background vocals.
I know.
They looked like they were having a blast.
I know. We were talking about the backup vocalists. This is probably, like, their favorite gig that they've done. I bet they had so much fun.
Right, because I can imagine that if you're just singing back up for, like, Beyonce or something, like, she's probably doing all the legwork, and you're just like, in the back.
Yeah.
But with this, they actually did a lot of the singing, because Matt and Trey relied on them to do a lot of the female voices, and they looked cute as hell in their matching flannel shirts, so I loved it.
It was great. I mean, you had a really good camera work. The camera work, the sound quality was excellent. They had projections and things. They did unique animations for this show, which again, above and beyond, another wholesome thing. Mm-hmm. Again, where I feel like they're just great employers. I think they care so much about
because I think their whole staff was there in the audience.
Just about their entire staff, those who could make it, they did shout-outs for their animators, for their staff. Actually, a couple of their writers, I know Bacon, who's you'll see him in the credits listed often. I believe he's one of the writers. Bacon was on keys, and then you had their major music composer was on stage with them too. So it was really just like a house effort. I loved that Matt and Trey didn't just rely on themselves. You know, they didn't just make it all about themselves. They put a lot of focus.
And it makes sense, because I mean they do a lot of work, but the show is not just them two either. It's like a whole group of people.
It couldn't be. So I love that they dedicated it to the other folks who make South Park a reality. You know, we give a lot of focus, of course, to Matt and Trey because they're the headrunners, but it's so nice to see a lot of other people recognized. And even Dean was in the audience. For those of you who don't recognize the name Dean, he was one of their friends back in college. He appeared in Cannibal the Musical, and he also appeared beside Matt and Trey in Basketball. And, you know...
Was he in Orgasmo?
He was also in Orgasmo. Okay. Yeah, he was in Orgasmo, too. He was in all of those films. He's one of their shorter friends. But apparently they had, like, a friendship fallout and everything. But they called him out in the audience, which is so nice to hear.
Yeah.
That is just wonderfully wholesome. You know, it was a fun concert, but it was also very, like, tugging at the heartstrings, you know?
I know, the biggest bummer, though, was that we heard that Ann Garofino, who's, like, the third Matt and Trey, who apparently organized the whole concert, got COVID and couldn't come, so...
Yeah. Ann Garofino is their main producer.
That's a real kick in the girl balls.
She's amazing, but you know what? Props to Ann Garofino, because South Park could not exist today without her.
No, absolutely.
No, half of the stuff. She did a lot of work for Book of Mormon as well, so she's awesome, and I love that they've always given credit where credit's due. And back to the set list. The set list, I think, was very fun. It was made for South Park fans, but for also Matt and Trey fans. They really threw in a lot of stuff. I was so excited to hear stuff from Cannibal the Musical.
Yeah.
Betty made an appearance on stage. Betty is Trey's daughter.
And she said that Joe Biden took her job. So I guess she was really gunning for that presidential seat.
Betty's a performer. And, you know, there was a few confusions because they used a pseudonym for her. They brought her up and she called herself Harper. Which...
Although we just outed her.
We did just out her. But anybody who, like, knows them can see that it's Betty. So for anybody confused, yes, that was Trey's daughter. She looks exactly like him, it's kind of easy to point her out. But she was adorable. I love that this is also kind of a family thing too. I mean, not in theme. It wasn't really a family event.
It is not a family show, but they brought their families.
Yeah. I just, I again liked it. It wasn't just for the sake of making money, it was, I mean, I'm sure it did a lot of that too.
I mean, I could tell just from like right away when it first started, when Trey was, I think it was after the first song, Trey was like thanking the fans and everyone. He said, thanks for being here, thanks for watching our show.
We never thought we'd be here.
I know, and it was so, I'm like, he's about to cry, I can just tell.
You were about to cry. We were about to cry. We were kind of,
I was like, it was just, the gratitude was very obvious. He was very genuine. He seemed like he was so happy to be there and see. Because I can imagine, and that's working in TV, you just, put the show out, or your Broadway show or whatever, you just put it out, and then you move on, and occasionally someone on the street will say hi. But, just to see a stadium full of people all singing along to your music.
And because they're not as recognizable of a face, because they do more behind the scenes
Right,
work.
They're not as popular as Cartman, for example.
Yeah, they don't have as much of the face recognition, because they don't always put their face out there. So only, super fans like us would be able to point them out on the street. And
I have to say, though, the South Park superfan, I think, is, more popular than we thought. Only a superfan, I think, would fly all the way to Colorado and know all these songs and have the merch.
It was also a love letter to Colorado. Yeah. It was definitely, so I think it was ultra super special. I mean, a selfish part of me wishes that they would just tour the whole dang thing, but that's a lot to ask of 50-year-old people.
I don't know, man. I think, they finally achieve their dream of being in a band, so maybe we wouldn't have to push that hard for them to go on tour.
Right. But no, the set list, all the songs were super fun, very recognizable.
They're very themed too, like the Lemmy Wings song. They had people in costumes and they were wearing folk hats.
Like we said, production value. They brought up the production value. It wasn't just this little fuddy-duddy thing. Mm-hmm. They were experiencing everything. But we had a blast watching everything. It was a bunch of laughs too.
Yes.
There was a good balance of, pop fun songs. You had Gay Fish, but you also had When I Was on Top of You.
Yeah.
Which is a slower paced song. Still funny. All of them were funny. And
I did like that a lot of the times before certain songs they would play clips from the show to kind of add context to it.
Exactly.
I mean, not that you and me needed it, but it was considerate of them. And then I was telling Shirley while we were watching that Trey singing Gay Fish with the extreme auto-tune over his voice. I'm like, this is not unlike a lot of the pop artists on the radio these days.
Not at all. Well, and we were just saying Gay Fish holds up, especially modern day Kanye, okay? Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, the Gay Fish episode came out over a decade ago.
Yeah.
It's an older episode by today's standards.
Yeah, and especially with Man Bear Pig, a lot of South Park's episodes don't age that well.
But this one aged way too accurately. People thought Kanye was a bit exaggerated in the Gay Fish episode. No, that's just him now. That's just how Kanye West acts now. But good thing we're not popular, or else he'd send a hit out on us for that comment. But we, I think, I love that it's available on YouTube to anybody. And there's straight up, there weren't. I wasn't using an ad blocker. We were watching it on my TV. There were only 3 ads, I think, that played the entire time. Both of them were skippable. All of them were skippable. Mm-hmm. They weren't trying to rake AdSense from this.
Right. When they you could tell it wasn't for the money or anything.
No, it was awesome for the fans. They had a blast. It was just so fun. We had a blast. I wasn't even there, but I felt
I know. I was so bummed that I couldn't go because we didn't get picked for the random selection or whatever.
Yeah, because you can't. You there's only a few number of tickets. It's a very, very, very small number of people who can get tickets there.
Which is funny because actually my friend from high school who also likes South Park, I told him about the concert and he actually got picked and he got tickets. And he said later on, he's like, I can't go. Do you want to buy this ticket from me? But there was only one. And I was like, well, I'm not going to go by myself. Because I was going to see if we could get 2 and then we would both go.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not just going to go without Shirley.
I would have let you go. I didn't know about this.
I didn't let myself go. I wouldn't go.
True friend sacrifice. Because I would have let you go and you would not have gone without me. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like I could have stopped you, but I wouldn't stifle that. But we, even on just my TV screen, it was such a fun experience, and again, there weren't a lot of lull periods, even the portions where it was just Ween songs, and I really enjoy Primus, so I had a good time with that. Even then, it was just a fun experience. I'm sure everybody in the audience had a blast. Matt and Trey were bringing their A. Matt played, I think it was in total, 5 different instruments, excluding his own voice, excluding him singing. Matt did, at the beginning, he did acoustic guitar. He, of course, played the drums. Mm-hmm. He did a ukulele.
He did cymbals, remember?
Cymbals, and then electric guitar. So I think that's 5 different instruments.
You know what I thought was funny is that Matt did a bunch of different instruments, but he kind of stayed in his baseball hat and his tracksuit the whole time. And then Trey only did the piano, but he was doing costume reveals and he was bringing the drama.
Oh yeah, but we did get to see Butters perform a little bit of screamo with Primus.
Yeah.
A little bit. It was Matt performing as Butters.
We also found out early on that, I don't know, I didn't know this actually, that Primus, I guess, made their theme song for them all the way back in 97.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So I thought that was kind of a cool piece of trivia, and they performed it. They performed, like, the first version and then the final version. I thought it was kind of a cool visual storytelling on their part.
It was great. Costumes, amazing. And it's so easily available. It's so easily available. I mean, you get on YouTube, it's right there. It's right there, the whole thing. I mean, like I said, there are a couple things that were, like, minorly cut. Again, if you can look up the clip of Matt performing with Rush and his drum solo. The drum solo was cut out of the reel. Maybe because Matt was embarrassed or for time constraints. I'm thinking more time constraints because
I don't know. I think more thinking, like, maybe Matt was like, cut this out.
No, he did great. If you haven't seen the
maybe
clip,
he was just like, I don't know, I am not as good as them. Like, I could never. I don't know.
I mean, they kind of did put him on the spot to like perform in front of your literal idols. Like,
I know, I did notice that, like, he wasn't exactly performing because he was kind of like looking at the sheet music. Like, actually,
no, he was performing.
I know, but like he was more focused, I think, on doing a good job than like.
Oh well, with the Rush performance, yeah,
that's what I was talking about.
Well, that would be
because he didn't know that he was gonna be playing that, so he had to like look at the sheet music.
That would be the equivalent of Matt and Trey like showing up and then us be like, all right, record a podcast in front of Matt and Trey.
I don't know. I already have like 50 questions on the top of my head. I could.
Well,
ask them,
what if it's like stuff we just have to interact with each other? We can't talk to them. I'm already not good at this.
What? How would that
alone?
Even work?
I'm already not good at this alone.
Never
like,
mind.
what
Cut
if
that out?
I'm not even good at this when we're doing it by ourselves. I'm gonna totally screw up if we're near Matt and Trey. Are you kidding me? But
I'm trying to think. What else? What other stuff did they? The only thing I can think of to improve it is just I wish that there's so many songs that I wish they could have done.
I know.
But at the same time, I mean, they.
I wish it could have been longer. That's it.
Yeah.
But it was basic. I mean, for them, this was it was an hour 30 minutes with the added cuts and everything. So it was a 2-hour endeavor.
It was Uncle Fucker, Blame Canada.
Blame Canada was
Gay Fish,
fantastic.
Boogers and Cum, Jackin' in San Diego.
Oh yeah, Jackin' in San Diego really got the crowd going.
Yeah, Kyle's Mom's a Bitch, which of course I knew they were gonna do that one.
Oh yeah, I kind of already knew the set list before going in.
I knew a few of them, but I didn't know like the full thing because I really didn't interact with this until.
I was interacting from the site when all the clips started coming out before they had announced that they were gonna stream it. I was all over this, so I mean, a little bit spoiled, but the camera quality was great. We had so much fun watching this, and we had even more fun watching it together in the same room.
That's right.
Because we were just singing along.
We were.
Off key and everything.
And it was so nice, like, hearing us sing along and then hear the crowd sing along. Yeah.
I'm very, very lucky. I feel lucky as a fan to get dedication stuff like this constantly. Man, it'd suck to be a fan of us. Because we don't ever put out stuff even remotely as much effort as this.
It's okay, because there are no hardcore fans of us, so don't worry.
Hey, don't forget about those 2 people who comment every now and then.
Even then, I don't know if I would consider that hardcore.
I don't know. We'll do a meet and greet if you two want to.
Okay.
If you guys in the comments want to come say hey, aside from my sister, because she can meet us whenever she wants. So, thank you guys again for listening, and I 100% encourage you, just hop on YouTube. Hop on the South Park website. I'm sure there's going to be a link there as well. It's so accessible, and it's totally worth your hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, it brings me back to the days when you could just hop on southparkstudios.com and watch all the episodes for free.
All the episodes for free, man. They still actually will highlight a couple of free episodes on their website.
Nice.
They
haven't sold out completely.
See, South Park, another reason why I love this is they've always made stuff accessible for their fans, I think. They do a lot for their fans that not a lot of other not a lot of other brands do.
Right.
You know? So we have a lot of them to thank. Definitely take your time to go watch it. Absolutely do. Because we had a blast.
We did.
I'm going to keep listening to a couple things on repeat anyway.
Yeah. Well, it was nice hanging with you, Shirley, and with the fans.
And with the fans.
And with Matt and Trey, as always.
I love you, dude.
I love you, too.
Oh, my partner in crime.
You're the Matt to my Trey.
Aww.
The tweak to my Craig.
That's absolutely right. I'm definitely the Matt in this scenario because she does a lot more work than I do.
That's true.
Just kidding, Matt. I love you.
Okay. Well, this is us signing out. Hopefully you'll see us doing more videos in the future.
Let's see. Maybe we'll finally put out that Kyle character dive.
Maybe? All right.
That'll be on me. So, hold me accountable, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.